Hello, this is Pladman from Russian Space Station, calling to let you all know that you should listen to German artist named Werner Herzog. We don't like him because we could not kill him, he was child in World War II. But he has done good things and many Russian people like this man. He is known as good person. So you should listen to him and watch his videos and his movies and read his books. Oh, it's disgusting to talk about this. I need vodka. I need vodka to talk about this. I bring American over. Okay, I bring American over to talk. Okay, it's too much. Too much. All right. Hey, guys. I know I did Australian there. Hey, guys. I'm an American. Representing. Yeah. Snot Rocket Productions. Feel like I need to do this, though. So, I feel like I want to represent. So, maybe I'll represent this way. And, I don't know. It's weird. This is pseudo-professional. All right. So, Werner Herzog, that's what this video is about, for the record. He is a writer, a director, an artist, first and foremost, a savant, some say, and just amazing. And it's interesting because I would never talk about someone this way unless I had done a deep dive on them, right? Or really, in this case, felt tremendously compelled based on what I saw. And in all fairness, what I saw was 2 performances in a movie and a TV show, and I read his book. And I listened to a Joe Rogan interview, not that he was on, but that he was talked about. And his book was talked about. And so therefore I read the book. And hence we're down this rabbit hole. Now, I actually plan on buying his catalog of movies and watching them. And in a weird way, after looking at his catalog of movies, just observing from an outsider's perspective. By the way, Embers says hello. From an outsider's perspective, I am impressed. And listening to his memoirs, I am floored. Because he is a man who has been around since World War II and effectively has not changed and is just doing his thing. He's a man who is on Simpsons, but before being on Simpsons, never ever saw Simpsons. Didn't even know what Simpsons was. Now, I'm not a Simpsons fan. I've seen an episode or 2 here or there, but I know of Simpsons. And to be fair, I'm an American. I was born in 87, so born significantly later, so it's a little different. But it is impressive to me that a person alive today can't know about Simpsons. But this guy legitimately thought Simpsons might have been a cartoon that he might have seen before getting a role in Simpsons, and then later 2 more, and has effectively lived an entire life successfully. What I would count as what any artist wants, which is do your art the way you want to do it and to make money doing it without hope of fame or fortune, but just being recognized for what you're doing, which seems like what he's doing. He seems like the quintessential artist, which is somebody who does what they want to do without hope of fame or recognition. Sorry, it's bugging me with the lighting. Anyways, the book I read is called Every Man for Himself, God Against All, a memoir. Let me read it differently. Every Man for Himself, God Against All, a memoir. Every man for himself, God against all, a memoir. It's so poetic. And in all fairness, based on his memoir, it seems like he is a poet. And I feel like calling him a poet, arguably in the abstract, is actually what he is on the whole. He is a poet. And it's kind of amazing. I don't want to get into all the story. So effectively, I just want to say, read his memoir. Read his memoir. Like, just in general. I don't care if you're an artist. I don't care if you care about arts. I feel like every person deep down inside can benefit from his memoir, which is called Every Man for Himself, God Against All. I think that you should check it out. And I think you would benefit from doing the audiobook, because he does the audiobook, and it seems so much more profound and so much more interesting. I frankly, I can't even imagine anybody else doing his own memoir than him, because he has this epic, gravelly voice. Now, I want to point out how I was first introduced to him was there was a Tom Cruise movie called Jack Reacher, which I had read the books, and I was excited for this movie. I was like, cool. Kind of weird because Tom Cruise is not the right size for Jack Reacher, the character. But okay. I trust Tom Cruise. And I was well rewarded because, in my opinion, the Jack Reacher movie, and I think I made a video about this, was one of the best book to movie transitions. Because arguably, it was better than the book. There was a couple parts in the book that didn't really work. And the movie made so much better, and they changed entirely and made it work. There are some other issues, like, again, the physicality of Tom Cruise, which is like, not the physicality, but the gravitas of the character. Like, Tom Cruise is almost half the size of the character of Jack Reacher, physically. But Tom Cruise's gravitas made it work. Not ideally. It still, like, resonated. And there's some other things, like, the character of Jack Reacher is not known as a car driver, so people who read the books are like, but in general, they knocked it out of the park, like 9 out of 10, or frankly a 10 out of 10 as far as transformation. As far as action movies go, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I mean, there's a lot of competition in action movies, but it was good. It was very well done. And now, interestingly enough, so you have all this, and then you have kind of like your pseudo main antagonist, your counterpoint to Tom Cruise, played by Jai Courtney, right? And you know, these super macho guys, both snipers, yada yada yada. But behind the scenes, a person who only had maybe 3 scenes in the entire film is this guy who's got this very deep Eastern European accent, and he sounds like he's just fucking gargling gravel every time he talks. And he just resonated. Not evil, but determination at all costs. Regardless of how many lives he would continue. And that's scary. And if you remember, watching, a good comparison would be Batman: A Dark Knight, and that conversation where they're talking about the Joker and how some people just want to see the world burn, and there's really not much you can do. You can't find them. They're not really quantifiable. And in a weird way, that's what Werner Herzog played in this Jack Reacher novel. Except it wasn't all blown and whatever. You just had this individual who would manipulate and do all these things to do stuff. And it wasn't because he was trying to like get all the money or whatever. He just found a niche and was like this perpetual drill that just kept going. And there was no necessarily rhyme or reason. It just needs to be cut. It's just a cancer that just exists, and the only solution is to cut it out. And he did that so well, apparently, and I found this out in the memoir, bad me for not watching the behind the scenes. But in the memoir, they shot the scene, and it was so intense, they had to edit it twice over to not only fit the PG-13, but also make it less scary and messed up. And it was so intense anyways that one of his wife's girlfriends messaged his wife after the movie came out and like, hey, I didn't know you're married to this guy. If you need to come over, you're welcome to come here at any point. We understand, we'll help you, whatever, because he's playing a villain. And that's brilliant. And I believed him when he was playing it. He killed it. He did an amazing job. And that was my first introduction to this guy. Then, fast forward a little bit later, there's the Mandalorian TV show, and season 1, one of the villains, I think the main villain, was, again, Werner Herzog, playing this leader who had this small cadre of stormtroopers in the middle of nowhere. But he had this gravitas, again, just sitting and owning the space, as if expecting people would do what he wanted, and expecting he couldn't just be killed. And it's fascinating and amazing that he can just own that space. And then I listened to Joe Rogan talk about this guy and some of his books and some of his experiences, and I'm just like, again, not with Werner Herzog on the show. It wasn't that. It was just him talking to someone else about it. And I'm like, who is this? What is this? I want to know more. And so I finally read the book, and I was entranced. I was spellbound, and like I had moments where I couldn't listen to the book. I had to listen to something else for a bit because I needed to pay more attention to the book, and I couldn't just have it in the background. I had to actually pay attention and crank up the volume so I could actually hear and understand everything that he was saying, because he had this fascinating, almost mothy way of going about telling his story and his life. And each moment that the moth landed was so relevant. And sometimes it would jump from here to here to here to here. And it was all connected, but not. It was disconnected. And it was beautiful. Frankly, I haven't read a ton of memoirs. This was amazing. But I don't feel like it would fly with other people. So I have an outstanding, definitely check out this memoir. Definitely check out any and all of his movies or his shows or his performances or what have you. He, to me, he also reinvigorated something in myself that I need to pursue, something that I've been wanting to pursue, has been in the core of my soul to pursue for over 15, 20 years almost. Yeah, for over 20 years. Which is the film industry, making films, acting in some of those films. But really just making film, making stories that other people would want. And now I'm not trying to advocate or say that I'm anything like him whatsoever, but like he helped inspire me. And in a small way, I feel like he could help inspire any other artists out there that are like having similar issues that I've had where, oh yeah, but later, whatever. And it's like, look, you don't have to be Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise level success, Julia Roberts level success. You can be successful in your way, on your budget. It's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what you want to do and let it go. And in a weird way, that's kind of what I got, is this man who is worldly, doesn't begin to describe him. I feel like you could run a commercial campaign called International Man of Mystery, and like he would be a perfect runner-up for it. And I know they did that for one thing, but I can't promote the book anymore. I love you all. I'm gonna switch to Russian. Now that stupid American capitalism is over, I want you all to know Russian space station still watching you. Good times. We're paying attention. Read this book, but understand that the Russians allowed this book to happen by not killing him as little man. You're welcome. Thank you. Goodbye.